Welcome to Episode 3 of the Registration Management Series. In the last few episodes, we've gone through some myths and stories regarding voter fraud in the forms of deceased voters and voting with canceled registrations. We're going to keep it rolling as we dig into another voter fraud concept revolving around voter addresses and voters registering in multiple states. As a voter, you're only permitted to register to vote in one state and in one location within that state at any given time. Certain taxing districts may be exempt to this, like a groundwater district, for example, which may allow for a vote that is scaled to the land size or the water right owned by the voter. But in general, one person equals one vote in typical election scenarios. The typical story in this case is a voter who is registered with multiple addresses and casts multiple ballots, either in one state or across state lines. First, let's look at how a state voter registration system works to understand why these occurrences are rare, but when they do occur, how they are handled. Secondly, we'll discuss the penalties for this all too commonly attempted kind of voter fraud. Remember that every voter only casts one ballot in an election, and that ballot is based on their address of residency. Residency is that place that you live, or if you're away from it, plan to return to. As such, a voter on an extended vacation, or even away at school, has not necessarily lost their residency of their primary home. In this situation, you must decide where you wish to be registered to vote. When updating your address, there's a specific question asking you to provide the address where you were previously registered. This allows for counties and states to communicate with each other thoroughly whether to cancel your prior registration or just update your current voter information, because the act of registering in a new location disqualifies you from voting in the previous one. Many states, like ours, voluntarily pass this information along to the state or jurisdiction you moved from. Likewise, we receive notifications from many other states when one of our voters has registered with them and can cancel their registration with us. By cooperating in this way, voters are manually moved from state to state. Within the state voter management system, a voter who changes their address out of one jurisdiction automatically enters a new jurisdiction with that change. To bypass this, a voter would have to intentionally file a new voter registration under a different name, and intentionally try to mask identifiers like date of birth or a driver's license number to gain a second registration, as even partial matches are flagged for review in the system to prevent a voter from appearing in two locations. This constitutes voter fraud and is a prosecutable offense if a voter attempts to vote twice in the same election. There is one exception to voting outside of your current address, and it involves a voter who moves within 30 days prior to any election, and as a result is not yet eligible to vote at their new address. If this is you, come on down. Whether your new address is in another county, state, or even country, your ballot will be permitted to count if and only if a valid ballot is submitted either in person or by absentee before or on election day and within 30 days after moving. On the 31st day, you must update your address and vote based on your new address. Our next episode may be of particular interest. We'll go behind the bars and look at the restrictions on voting rights for incarcerated individuals and those with prior felony convictions. Don't go anywhere.